Today, I'm going to be showing you guys 5 techniques to catch big bass.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you guys have tuned in because hopefully you guys will learn something new. So today I'm going to try and make you guys learn a couple new techniques that you can add to your arsenal when you go to a lake or a pond. So let's get right into it. Alright, so with our first technique, you're going to need a straight shank hook here. Just a plain old straight shank hook and a zoom trick worm. It don't have to be a zoom trick worm, but this is what I prefer. You see that little bump right there, how it goes bumpy, 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 smooth. That's where you want to put the hook at. So right here, let me put it in for you. Pause. All right. You see how that hook is supposed to be? In that smooth, right in that smooth. Come out right on top of a little bumpy section and call it a day, son. And right here is a successful wacky rig. What I would suggest throwing this on, it would be a stinking spinning rod, because it is just so light. You can skip it with a spinning rod and it would be really, really difficult, but you could probably do it on a bait caster. So let's get into the next one. Okay, sorry about that. I did in fact hook the wacky rig wrong. You want the hook to be going towards the short end of the worm and not going this way. So that is my bad. That is a big user error. So let's actually get into the next one. Alright, so for our next technique, we got a shaky head, but we're not going to be using this one because putting a worm on the spiral, it's kind of a pain, and I do not feel like doing that right now because there's just no point. I'm not actually going fishing, so bear with me for just a moment. Bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. There's the one I'm after. There we go. Okay. I've got my shaky head. Here we go. So you can bend these if you want. I mean, it helps if you bend them, so you can do this. This is how you're supposed to rig up a shaky head. You get a lot smaller trick worm. I'm just using the one off of that floating worm I just rigged up. So you just go through the nose just a bit or two. Nothing too crazy, and come out like that. And then you're just gonna do a little twist here when it gets up here. Do a little twist there. Let me make sure it's above that. Up here up top. And boom. And just like that, you got yourself a shaky head. So what the idea is with the shaky head, you drag it a little bit, then you shake it a little bit with your rod. Drag it a little bit, shake it. You can either throw this on a spinning rod or a bait caster because it can go heavier than what a spinning rod will be able to handle. I mean, you can go heavy and throw it on a spinning rod, it'll just be a lot on the spinning rod. So let's get to our next technique. Okay guys, so for this next technique, it is an absolute blast to throw if these fish are guarding their fry up high in the trees, or if the fish are just up high in general. It is the world's famous Pop-R, in this case the Rico. And only thing you really need to do for this bait in particular is just whenever you're throwing it on the water, you jerk your rod 2 or 3 times and stop, 2 or 3 times and stop, because what this bait does, it makes a little bit of a popping sound and it makes a little splash in the water. And bass that are guarding their fry or just in the proximity thinks it's like a bluegill or something schooling or eating fish and whatnot, and the bass will absolutely come and knock the socks off of this thing. Only thing you really need is a really limber rod. I wouldn't say too limber, just a rod you're comfortable with just jerking down in a downward motion to get this thing to move. Let's get into our next technique. So for this next technique, it is hated by some people and it is loved by some people, but there is no argument that this technique does not catch some big fish. And this technique is called the glide bait. Look at that pretty thing. Some people argue with you that it is a swim bait, but since it is a hard bait here, it is classified, in my opinion, as a glide bait. So what you want to do with a bait like this that has 4 of these different compartments, you just want to reel it at a controlled pace where it looks kind of natural and keep it above the trees, because this thing will hang up because it has these treble hooks that would absolutely attach itself to everything but a fish. But I'm going to tell you the 2 things you need if you're going to throw this thing. First, you want a really good, strong and stiff rod. So whenever a fish bites into it, you can set the hook and stick him and make sure he does not come off of these hooks. And the second thing you want, it is some strong line so a big fish does not take it. I have witnessed firsthand of my dad losing a big $60 glide bait. That much bigger than this one. This one's about a 3.5, 4-inch one. And it's like $10, but $60 he lost because he was throwing some weak line. But the action on these things is like this. Hold on, that is bad. That's a bad example. It's kind of like this. I wish I had footage for you guys, but I didn't have time today. But that's okay. So let's go into our next technique. It is our last technique, and it's probably one of my favorites. So let's get into it. All right, so for our next technique, we have the flick it head. So what a flick it head is, it is a cross. Not even a cross. It is pretty much what a wacky rig does not have. It is a weighted and weedless wacky rig. For everything that this thing is not. So what you want to do is, this is how you rig it up right here. This is how you rig it up. I'm throwing a little miniature Senko here, a Yamamoto Senko, and you're just gonna, there's a little bare patch right here, and the last one on this bare patch, you just hook it under it, and there you go, son. You got your flick it head working. You don't want to hook it like this. Let me just hook it on there for you real quick. You don't want to hook it on like this, because that just don't work. I mean, I think it could. I've never done it like that, so if it works for you, it works for you. I'm just giving you guys my personal preference here. So that is all the things I have to show you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. I wish I had footage to go with this to show you that I actually catch fish on them, but take my word for it, okay? One thing I forgot to mention about the flick it head, you don't want to move the line at all. You just want to let it fall in free fall, because whenever it's falling, it's just going to be doing this the whole time down. A lot slower, but you get what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today. It was pretty decent making this. I just wish I had more footage to show you about like me catching the fish on the crap in the road. I ain't got no time. My graduation comes up in a couple days. A shout out to my English class. I'm going to be seeing this in there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we do some entertaining stuff and not nothing, because it's been a month. I'll see you.